Some of you are sitting here today carrying last year's baggage, last year's disappointments, last year's excuses, and you're wondering why nothing has changed. But I'm here to tell you, if you step into this new year thinking it's going to be just like the last, you're already defeated. God has called you to a higher level, a greater season, a new chapter, but you cannot walk in it with the same mindset, the same habits, the same fears. I'm telling you today, don't let this year be the same as last year, because what you do now, how you choose now, will decide whether this year is your breakthrough or another year of almosts. Some of you have dreams that are crying out for your attention. Some of you have a purpose that won't wait any longer. And some of you are still stuck in yesterday. But hear me today, the chains of last year do not define you. The struggles of last year are not stronger than the God inside you. It's time to rise. It's time to move. It's time to let this year be different. Listen to me, church. Some of you are walking into this year dragging chains that were never meant for you to carry. You're carrying the weight of old habits, old failures, old mindsets, and old excuses, and you wonder why you haven't moved. Let me tell you something. The past only has power over you if you allow it to. Last year's patterns, the ways you reacted, the ways you procrastinated, the ways you doubted yourself, they were only your destiny. They were only your history. But if you don't change, if you don't break free, history will repeat itself. And that, my friends, is a tragedy because God has bigger for you. You see, breaking free starts with acknowledgement. You have to look in the mirror and say, I cannot live like I did last year. You cannot keep going to the same places, doing the same things and expecting a miracle. You cannot keep listening to the same negative voices, doubting your worth and hoping for divine elevation. Change begins when you confront the patterns that have held you hostage. It begins when you stop rationalizing your stagnation and start recognizing that comfort is not the same as progress. The same habits that made you comfortable last year are the same ones that will keep you stuck this year. And let me be clear, breaking free is not easy. Oh no, it will test you. It will push you. It will make you uncomfortable because the chains of the old are familiar. The old is safe. The old is what you know. But if you want something different, if you want to see growth, if you want to step into the blessing that God has already set aside for you, you have to be willing to get uncomfortable. You have to be willing to walk away from the old routines, the toxic relationships, the limiting thoughts, and the self-sabotage. I want you to hear me loud and clear. God did not create you to be a replica of last year. He did not create you to repeat the same mistakes, to settle for mediocrity, or to allow fear and doubt to dictate your life. The life He has called you to is bigger than your past, stronger than your habits, and brighter than your failures. But it requires a decision. It requires a declaration. You must declare today that you are breaking free. You must decide that the ways of last year will not define you. And when you do, the breakthrough will come. Doors that were closed will swing open. Opportunities that were hidden will be revealed. Your mind will shift, your spirit will rise, and your steps will align with the purpose that was meant for you all along. You cannot be the same person walking the same road with the same mindset and expect a different outcome. If you want change, you must break free. You must rise. You must step into the new, even if the old is crying for you to stay. This year, church, do not let the past dictate your future. Break free from the old patterns. Walk out of the chains, move into the promises. God is waiting and He is saying, this is your moment. This is your year. Don't let it be the same as last year. I want you to hear me today. Every single one of you in this room has a divine assignment. You were not created by accident. You were not placed here by chance. God has a purpose for your life, a vision for your steps, and a calling that no one else can fulfill. But here's the truth: purpose without focus is just potential wasted. Vision without action is just a dream that will die on the shelf. If you are going to make this year different, if you are going to break free from the ordinary and step into the extraordinary, you have to embrace your vision. You have to grab hold of your purpose and let it guide every decision you make. Many of us wander through life without a roadmap. We allow distractions to pull us off course. We let fear, doubt, and criticism blur our focus. But the person who thrives is not the one who drifts. They are the one who is intentional. They are the one who wakes up every day knowing why they are here, knowing what they are supposed to do, and refusing to settle for anything less. God put something in you that is unique, something that only you can bring to the world. And if you do not embrace it, if you do not step into it, the world will never experience what you were born to deliver. Embracing your vision means being willing to see beyond the circumstances of today. It means looking past the setbacks, the disappointments, and the naysayers, and fixing your eyes on the end goal that God has placed before you. It means developing a clarity so sharp that nothing can shake your focus. Every decision you make, every step you take, every word you speak should align with the vision God has placed inside of you. When your actions are in line with your purpose, your life begins to operate with divine precision. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. Opportunities show up at exactly the right time. The resources you need arrive just when you need them. Because when you walk in purpose, you begin to move in rhythm with God's plan. But here's the challenge: embracing your vision requires courage. It requires saying no to distractions, no to the opinions of others, no to anything that tries to pull you off your path. It requires you to step into discomfort, to stand in faith when the path is unclear, and to keep moving even when the world doubts you. God did not call you to small thinking. He did not create you to live a life of regret or compromise. He created you to leave a mark, to fulfill a purpose that is bigger than your fears, bigger than your circumstances, and bigger than your past failures. So I ask you today, will you embrace your vision? Will you let your purpose guide your steps this year? Will you commit to living intentionally, to refusing to drift, to refusing to settle for less than what God has planned for you? If you will, I promise you this year will be different. This year, you will walk in clarity, in focus, and in the fulfillment of the calling that has been on your life from the beginning. Embrace your vision. Embrace your purpose. Step boldly into the destiny that is waiting for you, because God has not forgotten you and He is ready to do a new thing in your life. I need you to hear me today. If your mind has not grown, nothing else in your life will. Your mind is the battlefield. Your mind is the starting line for every victory you've ever dreamed of. You can have all the talent in the world, all the connections, all the resources, but if your mind is still thinking small, if your mind is still operating with fear, doubt, and limitation, you will never reach the fullness of what God has for you. To make this year different from last year, you have to level up your mindset. You have to think bigger. You have to see beyond what your eyes can see and believe beyond what your circumstances can dictate. Too many people are walking around with limited thinking. They allow yesterday's failures to define today's possibilities. They replay old stories of doubt, rejection, and loss as if those stories are the truth. But I'm telling you, those stories are lies. Those are lies from the enemy to keep you small, to keep you stuck, to keep you settling. Your mind was meant to be expansive, creative, bold, and fearless. Your mind is where your destiny begins. And if you want something greater this year, if you want to break free from the ordinary, you must renew your mind, retrain your thoughts, and refuse to accept limitations that were never meant for you. Leveling up your mindset requires intentionality. It requires discipline. It requires the courage to say no more. No more negative self-talk. No more comparisons. No more believing that you are not enough, not capable, not worthy. You have to feed your mind with faith, with hope, with vision, with encouragement, and with the promises of God. You have to meditate on success, on growth, on breakthroughs, on the good that is coming your way. You have to guard your mind against doubt, fear, and every thought that contradicts the purpose God has placed in you. But hear me, this is not a one-time decision. It is a lifestyle. It's waking up every day and choosing what thoughts you will allow to dominate your mind. It's surrounding yourself with people who lift you, challenge you, and inspire you. It's rejecting every limiting belief that says, I can't, I'm not ready, or it's too late. Your mind is a powerful instrument, and when you level it up, you level up your life. Opportunities will begin to appear. Creativity will ignite. Solutions will come when there seem to be none. Doors that were closed will swing open because your mind has learned to think like God thinks, to see like God sees, and to believe what God believes is possible for you. I am challenging you today. Do not let this year be like last year. Do not allow the same old thoughts to keep you in the same old place. Level up your mindset. Think bigger. Believe stronger. Expect more. Refuse to be small. Refuse to settle. The only thing standing between you and the life God has called you to is the way you are thinking. Change your mind and you will change your world. The victory, the breakthrough, the expansion you are seeking, your mind is the key. Step into it, level up, rise higher. I need you to hear me loud and clear. Faith without action is nothing but a wish. Faith is powerful, but it is not passive. Faith demands movement. Faith demands courage. You cannot sit on the sidelines this year and expect God to hand you everything while you do nothing. If you want this year to be different, if you want to see doors open that were locked last year, if you want breakthroughs that seemed impossible, you have to act. You have to move forward even when the path is unclear. You have to step out, speak up, and trust God to guide every step you take. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward in spite of fear. It's doing what you know you were called to do, even when your heart is shaking, even when doubt whispers in your ear, even when the world says you can't. Every great victory in life, every triumph you've ever admired, every person you look up to, they moved in faith and courage. They did not wait for perfect conditions. They did not wait for every doubt to disappear. They acted. They took the risk. They stepped into the unknown because they believed God was bigger than their fears, stronger than their obstacles, and faithful to fulfill his promises. I want you to understand something about God. He is not impressed with your hesitation. He is not moved by your caution. He honors faith that steps out, faith that moves despite uncertainty, faith that says, I will trust you, God, even when I don't see the whole picture. This year is calling for boldness, and boldness requires courage. You cannot pray for change and then shrink back when opportunity knocks. You cannot declare that you want more and then refuse to take the first step. God will meet you in your obedience, but you must move first. You must act first. Acting with courage and faith does not mean you will not face challenges. It does not mean the road will be smooth. On the contrary, the path will test you, the storms will rise, and opposition will come. But faith sees beyond the storm. Faith moves through it. Faith refuses to be intimidated by the impossible. And when you act with faith, you align yourself with God's supernatural power, his provision, and his timing. What looks impossible to man is possible with God, but you have to take the step of faith to see it manifested in your life. I am telling you today, do not let this year be the same as last year. Do not let fear dictate your decisions. Do not wait for permission, approval, or perfect timing. Step out in courage. Step out in faith. Move towards your destiny. Speak the word, take the action, and trust God with the results. Your breakthrough, your elevation, your miracle, your answer, it is on the other side of courage. This year, act boldly, act intentionally, act with faith that moves mountains, splits seas, and brings the impossible into reality. The time is now. The call is real. God is ready. Are you ready to act? Listen to me, church. If you want this year to be different, if you want to break free from mediocrity, if you want to rise higher than you have ever risen before, you must invest in yourself. Too many people spend all their time, energy, and resources on everything and everyone else, but they neglect the one person who can change everything themselves. Your growth is your responsibility. Your development is your choice. Your future depends on how much you are willing to pour into yourself this year. You cannot expect to grow if you remain stagnant. You cannot expect blessings to increase if you refuse to invest in the only asset that will carry you through life. Investing in yourself is more than just money. It is time, energy, focus, and dedication. It is reading books that challenge your mind. It is seeking mentors who stretch your vision. It is learning skills that make you more valuable. It is strengthening your spirit, your emotions, and your intellect. Every minute you spend developing yourself is a seed planted for your future. Every hour you dedicate to learning, growing, and improving compounds over time. But if you refuse to invest in yourself, you will remain stuck, and the opportunities that were meant for you will pass by. You must understand this. Your life will never outgrow the limits you place on yourself. If you want more, you must become more. Investing in yourself also requires discipline. It requires saying no to distractions, to mindless entertainment, to negativity, to anything that does not align with your growth. You have to guard your time and energy as if your life depends on it, because it does. You have to be intentional about who you allow in your inner circle, what you allow into your mind, and what you feed your spirit. The world will try to convince you that you are doing enough when you are not. The enemy will whisper that you are too tired, too busy, too ordinary, too late. But those lies are meant to keep you from your potential. You must refuse to accept them. You must invest relentlessly. The truth is, the person you become this year will determine the results you see. If you invest in your character, your mindset, your knowledge, your health, and your spiritual life, everything else will begin to shift. Doors will open, relationships will strengthen, opportunities will appear, and your influence will grow. But it all begins with you. You cannot wait for someone else to make you better. You cannot rely on luck, timing, or circumstances. You must take control. You must decide that this year you will become the best version of yourself. You will sharpen your skills, expand your mind, strengthen your spirit, and refuse to settle for mediocrity. I am telling you today, invest in yourself relentlessly. Guard your growth. Protect your progress. Fight for your development. What you put into yourself this year will pay dividends for decades to come. God has given you life, talent, opportunity, but it is your responsibility to cultivate them. If you do, I promise you, this year will not be like last year. You will rise, you will prosper, you will become the person God created you to be. This year, church, invest in yourself because your future is worth it and your destiny depends on it. I need you to hear me today. It is easy to start strong, but it is hard to finish strong. Too many people come out of the gate full of excitement, full of energy, full of promises. But by the middle of the year, that fire has fizzled. The momentum has slowed. The vision has blurred. And the dreams that seemed so alive on January 1st begin to feel distant, unreachable, impossible. But I am here to tell you God is calling you to finish strong, not just start strong. The breakthrough, the victory, the harvest, those things are reserved for those who refuse to quit, those who refuse to give up, those who push through the fatigue, the distractions, and the setbacks until they see the finish line. Finishing strong requires perseverance. It requires stamina. It requires discipline. There will be days when you feel tired. There will be seasons when the opposition is relentless. There will be moments when the world whispers, "Give up, it's too hard." But I want you to know those are the exact moments that determine the outcome. Your breakthrough is often one step past the point where most people quit. Your miracle is often one prayer past the moment of despair. Finishing strong is about refusing to allow temporary challenges to rob you of permanent victory. It is about staying committed to the process, even when results are delayed. It is about holding on to your faith, your vision, and your purpose, even when everything around you says it is impossible. Finishing strong also requires consistency. It is not enough to have a burst of motivation at the beginning. Motivation is temporary. Discipline, focus, and unwavering commitment are what carry you through. The person who finishes strong does the work every day, makes the right choices even when no one is watching, and maintains their integrity and effort even when the outcome is uncertain. They understand that greatness is not built in a single day. It is forged in the repeated acts of persistence, determination, and faithfulness. I want you to understand something. The enemy does not want you to finish strong. He will try to distract you, discourage you, and derail you. He will remind you of every mistake, every failure, every setback from the past. But the power that God has placed within you is greater than any obstacle, any delay, any opposition. You have what it takes to endure. You have what it takes to overcome. You have what it takes to rise above the challenges and cross the finish line victorious. Finishing strong is not about luck. It is about intentionality. It is about deciding today, no matter what has happened, no matter how the year has started, that you will see this through to the end. So I ask you, will you finish strong? Will you refuse to let the year slip away like last year did? Will you press through every trial, every delay, every obstacle until you see the full manifestation of God's plan in your life? This year, church, is not for those who quit. It is not for those who start and stop. It is for those who endure. It is for those who persevere. It is for those who finish strong. Stand up in your faith. Hold fast to your vision. Push through the opposition. The finish line is waiting, and on the other side of your persistence is the victory, the breakthrough, the elevation, and the fulfillment of everything God has promised you. Finish strong, church. Don't just start. Finish strong. So now I ask you, church, what are you going to do with this year? Are you going to let it slip through your fingers like last year? Are you going to allow fear, doubt, and old habits to steal your breakthrough? No. Not this year. This year, you will rise. This year, you will move. This year, you will break free. I see some of you holding back because it feels too hard. I see some of you trembling because change you need feels impossible. But I am telling you, God does not call the equipped. He equips the called. He does not wait for you to be ready. He makes you ready. Your strength is rising from the very place you thought you were weak. Your miracle is forming in the very moments that feel impossible. Your destiny is unfolding even while the world says it can't be done. So I declare to you today, you will not be the same person you were last year. You will not walk in yesterday's patterns. You will not settle for what is easy or comfortable. You will rise with courage. You will walk in faith. You will level up your mind. You will invest in yourself, and you will finish strong. This is your year. This is your season. And when the enemy comes whispering, you will shout back, I can. When the world says it's impossible, you will proclaim, with God, all things are possible. And when they look at you, they will see a new creation, a breakthrough, a testimony of what happens when someone refuses to let this year be the same as last year. Stand up, step out, rise up. This is your year, and nothing will stop it.